Fiancée used my childhood trauma to win a video game. Plus mini update. I don't even know how to type this or explain my thoughts right now, so I apologize if I seem scattered. I, 31 male, have been engaged to my fiancée Emily, 29 female, for the past 3 months. We've been together for 2 years. She has been the only relationship where I felt safe enough to open up and discuss my past trauma. Many nights I have cried into her arms, and she has been there to comfort me. She goes to therapy with me and has been a rock in our relationship. I have been getting much better since I really opened up about it, and I've been able to live a better and more liberating life over the past 2 years, until last Saturday. Emily is ultra competitive, not just in sports, but in life. She will do whatever it takes to win and be number one. She has lost friendships, family relationships, jobs, and money. She understands this and has been trying to get better by going to therapy, stating she doesn't know why she is like this. She seemed to cool down over the summer, but she is still very competitive. Even her parents have no idea why she is this way, because they were not athletes and have never pushed her to be number one. Her siblings are also confused about when this all started. I was a former college athlete, and yes, I am competitive, but not so much anymore. Recently, my friend group started a monthly game night. I was on a 4-month win streak. We play board games, old video games, painting, basketball, and even football. It's all in good fun, but last month Emily was so angry she didn't win that she walked home and didn't want to talk to me for at least 2 days. Before we left for game night, I asked her to please have fun and that it doesn't matter who wins. She promised she would try. As game night came to an end, Emily and I were tied with one more event. The rules are that if it's a man versus woman match, the lady chooses the final game. She selected N64 Mario Kart. I'm the king of that game. I never lose. I asked her if she really wanted to do that, and she called me a chicken while big talking about how she would beat me at my own game. I should have backed off, but I caved and we raced. Now, common knowledge is let her win, and trust me, I thought about it. But she gets really angry if she thinks you let her win. Her attitude is way worse then. As we started racing, it was a tight match. She kept hitting the banana peels, but she kept catching up. On the last lap, she started trying to distract me by saying he snores when he sleeps, using basic middle school insults. Then she tried bumping me to distract me, but I was locked in and focused. I responded back, at least I don't keep hitting the bananas, love. Very simple and fun. We were in the final leg of the race, and that's when she snapped, at least I didn't get SA'd by my own family. I froze up, dropped the controller, and she passed me and won. She was jumping up and down with joy, screaming and dancing that she finally won. From what my friends told me later, she kept that up for a good while until she saw my face, and that's when she stopped. My friends were in complete shock, asking me if that was true. I couldn't speak, I couldn't breathe, and I was fighting back all the inner demons swirling in my head. I simply got up, wished them a good night, and started walking. I was in a trance. I didn't even know where I was walking to. Emily tried calling and texting, asking where I was, begging me to call and come home. She kept saying she's sorry, just wanted to win so badly, and doesn't know why she said that. I told her to please stop calling me. I needed space. I don't know what to do. I love this girl and trusted her, but she used that trust to win a freaking video game. My friends are now asking me about my past and won't leave me alone. I guess all I'm asking is there any way back from this, or is this the end? Do I dump her or try to work this out? Any advice would be very helpful. Now for the top comments before the mini update. I'm sorry, but I really don't see how this relationship can survive. She not only used the one thing that you trusted her with, but she also used your pain and trauma to win a goddamn video game, and in front of other people who were clueless about your past. I don't think there is anything a person could do to get past that level of disrespect and complete lack of decency. I'm so sorry for your past and what you went through. Is there any friend you feel comfortable enough to talk to? Are you seeing a therapist? Heck, even keep talking to people on here if you think it would help. Please don't shut out your friends, and please don't shut down. Lean on your friends or whoever you feel comfortable around. Final thought, F that evil witch. I'm glad you emphasized on avoiding shutting out his friends. They can be real help when you will need it the most, if their intentions are good by asking you about it. Lean on whoever you're comfortable with, and time to start all over again. It is never too late. You got this. And yes, F that evil witch. You deserve better. I really hope he listens. He deserves so much better, and I hope his friends keep trying to reach him. My heart breaks for him. There is no way back from this. You will never, ever feel safe with her again, and you will never trust her again, and you shouldn't. Just tell her you hope winning a stupid game was worth losing your relationship, and that if she's smart, she'll stay single until she figures out and fixes whatever the heck is wrong with her. Yeah, she needs a lot more therapy if she had a gut instinct to do that. It's cruel, and I can't imagine hurting someone I love so badly over something so stupid like Mario Kart. Wow. Some things, when broken, take years to fix, and one of those things is trust. This will be on your mind, OP, as you say your vows. She has tainted a relationship. This won't just go away. Edit. I want to thank everyone for their comments and DMs. I've been reading all of them for the past 3 hours. I guess I knew this was the end of this relationship, but after spending 2 years with someone, having strong feelings, and trusting them, I wanted to see if a majority of people could see something else that I didn't, something that could save it. After reading the comments, I guess I overlooked the massive red flags that Emily had. I decided to sit down with my friend group tonight and tell them about my past. It will be difficult, but I will also text Emily tonight and meet with her tomorrow. Next story. My wife of 10 years divorced me for cheating on her, emptied out the house, and went out of her way to make my life a living hell. Except I never cheated. My wife and I were together for 10 years, and throughout our entire relationship, she always suspected me of cheating on her. The first time she accused me of cheating, about 2 years into the relationship. I was so upset that she could think I was capable of something like this that I started crying on the spot. But I work in a career field where cheating is rampant, and I travel a lot for work, so I understood where the insecurity might come from. I always believed that if I demonstrated myself as a loyal and faithful husband, she would eventually realize that this belief was misplaced. But instead, it seemed to get worse over the years. These conversations and accusations would always lead to fights and became more and more frequent over time. About 2 years ago, she became even more convinced and would say things like, "I know you're cheating on me, and it has been really difficult for me to come to terms with it and forgive you." Everyday activities became proof of my infidelity. If I worked late, it was because I was actually out meeting my affair partner. If I woke up early to go for a run, I was actually meeting her for a 6 a.m. quickie. When my motorcycle was vandalized, it was a jilted ex-lover. I demanded that we go to couples counseling, and she refused, saying, "Why should I have to go to counseling? You're the one that's doing it." She gave examples, such as the fact that I masturbate 3 to 5 times per week, as evidence that I was addicted to sex, and suggested that I join a Sexaholics Anonymous group. About 6 months ago, I was away on a work trip, and she texted me, "I finally found a proof that you're cheating on me like I had always suspected," and emailed me divorce paperwork. I was dumbfounded and asked her to tell me what proof she was referring to, but she replied, "It's not my job to share that with you. It's your job to prove to me that you're not cheating." I immediately came home to find that she had already moved out and taken everything in the house with her. She had a portrait of ourselves commissioned, and she had left it behind with her face cut out of it and "cheater" scrawled across my face. Over the next few weeks, she contacted all my friends, family, and coworkers to tell them that I had been cheating on her for years and that she was finally leaving me after no longer being able to deal with it. I lost a lot of friends who took her at her word and had to have so many uncomfortable conversations with others. Among those who decided not to cut me out of their lives, I have no idea who even believes me. I had to sit down with HR at work because my coworkers had filed complaints about being harassed by my ex. I had to dip into my retirement savings to pay for a divorce lawyer and replace everything in the house that had been taken. If she had simply decided to leave me, I would have been heartbroken but would have accepted it. Heck, if she was cheating on me, I would have been more upset, but could have come to terms with it. But I feel like such a victim, if that's the right word. I did my best to be a good husband and demonstrate to her that I was loyal, only to still be punished for something that never happened. I feel so stupid for failing to notice how serious these accusations were, for thinking that ignoring them would make them go away. And somehow, I also blame myself for not insisting that we address this issue years ago when it might have still been salvageable. My entire life was destroyed over nothing. So for defamation, she's publicly accusing you and affecting your career and social life by making accusations directly to friends, family, workplace, and I'm assuming online as well. Sounds like defamation to me. OP, your lawyer really needs to make this happen. She stole from you by taking everything in the house and is intentionally affecting your job. Your marriage is over. Your wife went nuclear. Time to make sure she pays for the cleanup. There's no coming back from any of this. Even if she begs, you will find a partner who values and trusts you like your ex never did. But you need to go on the offensive to make sure she pays for what she's done. You should have divorced her 10 years ago after the first incident. It sounds like your relationship was built on a lack of trust instead of the other way around. I'm sorry you went through that. Hopefully you can move forward in peace. Also, would love to know what job is rampant with cheating. Pilot or flight attendant was my first guess. Maybe he's a baker that lures women in with his sweet treats and breads. Lol. She was cheating. Took the coward's way out of the marriage. Although just speculation. Yep. I had an ex who always talked about me cheating and suspected me of cheating even though I was tied to her at the hip. I always told her that she'd be the one to cheat. Guess who ended up cheating? Hint, not me. Last story. I think I just torched my marriage by withdrawing consent to implant our very last embryo. F you, F you, F you. You're an F-head. I effing hate you. These are the words that came out of my wife's mouth today as we were walking our son home from daycare. We're both professionals in our 40s, yet in that moment, you wouldn't have guessed. We were having an argument over my perception that she was pandering to our son's tantrums and not enforcing boundaries. And then that happened. It was on a street in public, and I was holding my son's hand. I asked her quietly several times not to speak to me that way, especially in front of our son, and she just kept repeating herself. I'm in my car now, numb, typing this out. She's definitely had a rough go of it lately. She just learned that her umpteenth, I've lost count, round of IVF has failed, and is also dealing with all the excess hormones she's been injecting herself with. She's been passed up for a promotion at work and didn't get another job at a different company. She has one of the top jobs in the country in her field, but she's a high achiever. After the birth of our son, she went through horrible PPD and lost her fitness after having qualified for and competing in the World Championships for her sport. I'm not denying she has many valid reasons to feel upset. God knows I'm not perfect and probably contribute to her unhappiness at times. But her reactions to her feelings are getting more and more unhinged. She's thrown our boy, as a baby, down on a couch in frustration. She's lashed out and told me she finds me unattractive after I lost fitness during the pandemic following the birth of our son. I still hit the gym 2 to 3 times a week, ran weekly 5Ks, cycled up 200 kilometers at a time, and fit into medium t-shirts, though I no longer had visible abs. She road raged at another woman, even following her to her exit after a submerged dispute. And now this pure and adulterated vitriol. It breaks my heart that my son got to see it. His little sponge of a brain has absorbed something today, something I'm hoping to dear God doesn't become some dormant memory that manifests itself in a couple of decades, when it's his turn to have a serious partner. I've just withdrawn my consent for the transfer of our last remaining embryo. We've spent damn near $100,000 trying, but I can't bring another kid into this. She will lash out again. She'll try apologizing. She might love mommy, but I'd never forgive myself if something happened to this kid. She's proven herself to be both physically and verbally abusive. But the last thing she'll do after all these fails is resent me, then leave me. Now for the comments. Just read your post history. How was she before you had kids? How was your communication? I moved halfway across the world to marry her. She was wonderful. Communication was open, honest, and supportive. PPD changed everything, and she never really bounced back. Was the PPD ever properly treated? Is it possible that the depression is still there or has been triggered again? It doesn't excuse her behavior, but I know my depression/anxiety manifests as rage. Usually, I'm able to recognize it and realize I need to talk to my psychiatrist about my medication, but that's only after a couple of blow-ups. Sounds like she's going through a lot and needs help, so she stops taking it out on you and her son. As someone who has suffered from hormone-induced/increased depression and anxiety, sometimes manifesting as rage in the form of PMDD, it sounds as if the hormones your wife has been taking as part of the IVF could be aggravating her already questionable mental health. Just an aside to give you an indication of what my hormonal hell is like, when my PMDD gets bad, I turn to an irrational raging bee. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I can see myself acting that way, but I snap so quickly that I had no time to control it. Hormones can seriously mess with our mental health, something that isn't studied enough. I have said awful things that I didn't mean just to upset others. I have rage quit jobs, ended relationships, and dealt with suicidal ideation. It's scary to feel out of control, and that just increases the anxiety, which increases the depression, and so on. Now that you've withdrawn consent, will she stop using the hormones? That may be the first step in a series of getting her balanced back out. Has she continued to take the medication prescribed after her PPD diagnosis? Did it seem to help while she was taking it? It seems like she would benefit from taking an antidepressant. Zoloft has literally saved my life. Would she be receptive to discussing all of this after she calms herself? I truly hope for the best outcome for all of you, whatever that may look like at this point. I'm so sorry you've been struggling with this, and I'm sorry that she doesn't appear to be self-aware enough to know what damage she is doing to you, your son, and your relationship. I hope she will get the help she desperately needs. The hormones are absolutely a thing. She's on 3 times the dose she was when we successfully conceived our first, also through IVF. She's reached out to her doc already regarding stopping the meds, and she's agreed to therapy. So I'll take those small wins and go from there. Thanks for sharing. Edit. I'm blown away by the responses and messages, both supportive and critical. I'm sorry I can't go through and respond to every single one, but I do read them. Thank you in particular to the women who have gone through PPD/IVF/both, who have reached out, and to those who grew up in abusive households. Your comments and stories are eye-opening. She's agreed to couples and individual therapy. Therapists are mandatory reporters here, so I will be following their advice regarding next steps. I appreciate the comments telling me to get out. If a trained professional has safety concerns and comes to that same conclusion, I will. But I also know my wife of the last 3 years is not the same person I fell in love with over a decade ago, and I owe it to our family to see if that person still exists. Am I the a-hole for telling my half-siblings I won't drop my dad for them? When I, 24, male was 7, my mom died. I had 2 younger half-siblings who were 4 and 3 at a time. They had different dads. The older of my 2 half-siblings was born as the result of an affair my mom had while she was married to my dad. He found out about the affair before my mom gave birth and got a DNA test so he wouldn't have to be responsible for the baby. He had to do the same again because my mom got pregnant before the divorce was finalized and had to prove he wasn't the father. It was apparently a really big fight because she wanted him to raise the 3 of us, and he said never. My mom had primary custody of me and full custody of my half-siblings because neither of their dads was in the picture. When my mom died, I went to live with my dad, and my half-siblings were separated from each other and placed apart. I never saw them again for the rest of our childhoods. But eventually, as I learned, our mom's family was found and took them both in. They had no idea we existed. They reached out to me last year. We talked some. They told me about mom's family. They asked about my life. It was going okay between us for a while. But then they started to tell me my dad was an a-hole and asked how he could have let them go into foster care, saying he was responsible for separating us. They told me I shouldn't have anything more to do with him. They didn't like that I was close with my dad. I said we needed to drop that line of conversation, but they wouldn't. They said he should have never allowed us to be separated and that a real man would have taken them in when they had nobody else. They've opened up about how crappy the time they spent in foster care was, and they blame my dad for it. Even if it makes me an a-hole, I don't blame him. He's not their father and wasn't in their lives when our mom was alive. I try to keep building a relationship with them, but when they gave me an ultimatum, I told them I wouldn't drop my dad for them. They told me to go to hell and said I was a disgusting POS for standing by him. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Why are you even asking? Perhaps if your half-siblings are cheated on, they will understand better. Their situation is the responsibility of their mother and her affair partners, not your dad. Yeah, exactly. They're half-siblings after all, not the person that raised you. Right? Opie's dad was there for him, and that's what matters. They're Opie's half-siblings, but they didn't raise you. It's not about blood, it's about who showed up for you when it counted. They should be investing that energy into finding their own POS deadbeat father who abandoned them while their mother was alive. Your father is in no way related to them and owes them absolutely nothing. Not the a-hole. Fathers, they have different dads. And they are searching, but so far nothing has come from it. So they expected your father to take in the children of a woman who cheated on him and got pregnant from 2 different men while they were married? They're literally unhinged. Your mother was for the streets, OB, and it seems they are too. Who the heck behaves that way? You are definitely not the a-hole. Seems like they're projecting because where are those same feelings for their deadbeat asswipe of a dad who abandoned them? Where's the outrage over that? Tell them to keep that same energy. They're not even mad at them from what I can figure out. Just my dad. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my estranged father's funeral only to find out he left me everything in his will? So here's the deal. I, 28 female, had a terrible relationship with my dad. He walked out on my mom and me when I was 10 and only popped up in my life when he needed something, usually money or a favor. He remarried, had 2 other kids, and basically acted like I didn't exist. When I turned 18, I decided I was done with him. No calls, no visits, nothing. He tried reaching out a few times over the years, but it always felt forced, so I ignored him. My mom passed away a few years ago and I didn't even hear from him then. It solidified my decision to cut him off for good. Fast forward to a month ago. I got a call from his wife saying he had passed away unexpectedly. She was sobbing and asked if I'd come to the funeral. I said no. I didn't feel anything. No grief, no sadness, just nothing. Why should I show up to mourn someone who was there for me when I needed him? His wife begged me to reconsider, saying it would mean a lot to his family. She even said my half-siblings wanted me there to heal old wounds. But I still refused. I told her I made my peace with him being out of my life a long time ago. A week after the funeral, I got a call from a lawyer. Turns out, my dad left a will, and in it, he left everything to me. His house, his savings, his car, everything. His wife and kids got absolutely nothing. I was floored. I didn't even know he had that much to leave behind. The lawyer told me my dad had tried to make amends and felt guilty about abandoning me, so he wanted to make things right. Now his wife and kids are furious with me, saying I stole their inheritance and didn't even have the decency to show up at the funeral. I feel conflicted. On one hand, I didn't ask for any of this. On the other hand, I get why they're mad. I didn't have a relationship with my dad, but now I'm walking away with everything, while they're left with nothing. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I've decided to meet with a lawyer tomorrow to give everything back to the wife and her family. They're still angry at me and I can't blame them. What my dad did was messed up. I wouldn't want to leave them in the position my dad left my mother and I. I don't think I have the heart to respond to any more comments, but I do appreciate all the love and support I received. Thank you all. Plot twist. Absentee dad leaves you the main character inheritance, and now you're the villain in someone else's story. Honestly, it's a wild plot twist, but the truth is, I don't even want the money. I'm doing fine on my own, and it just feels wrong. Like dirty money, honestly. It's coming from someone who wasn't there when I needed him and only try to make amends at the last minute. I'd rather move forward without any of it than be tied to him in that way. It's funny how people can see it as a win, when to me, it's just a reminder of everything I never had from him. To me, this seems like your father was giving a middle finger to his widow and younger children while roping you, the child he abandoned, into his second family drama. I'm sorry, but he seems like a massive a-hole all around to every family he ever created, and I'm sorry he put you in the middle of it. He made you the bad guy and threw a wrench into his entire family all over again like crap. If you are in the States, the wife can contest the will and she will get something. In the States, a person who is married cannot disinherit their spouse. Just be aware of this because if she starts telling people, someone will enlighten her. Was wondering about this. Doesn't seem in any state's interest for families to be rendered homeless on spouse's whim or neglect. That is the opposite of my intention. I want to let them live in the house they grew up in. I don't want to take that away from them. I'll be meeting with a lawyer tomorrow. Next story. Am I the a-hole for helping my sister leave our parents' house and doing nothing for my much younger siblings? My parents had me 19 male and my sister 18 female when they were 20 and 21, me, and 21 and 22, my sister. They never really parented us. Most of the time, we were left home alone when we were way too young. We had to learn to fend for ourselves. We missed a lot of school and didn't always look well cared for either, but we didn't have extended family around us, and our parents never had friends over, so we were pretty isolated and ignored. I was 8 when I started attending school regularly, and my sister was 7. That only happened because our parents got in some trouble. So they told us we were big enough to get ourselves up and to school every morning. It wasn't easy, and the two of us bonded over the unfairness. When I was 11 and my sister was 10, our parents had another baby together. This was the start of them having kids like crazy. They had 5 kids in 7 years, and my sister and I were forced to be responsible for them. Our parents were home more with those kids, but they did nothing. They were too busy making more kids to raise the ones they already had. During my mom's pregnancies, we were also expected to wait on her, and that sucked. Our parents made life really difficult if we tried to stop helping. I spoke to teachers, and CPS was called a few times, but nothing was ever done to help us. So I left on my 18th birthday, slept rough for a few weeks, was able to get help at a shelter, got a job, and found a place to rent. I kept in touch with my sister and we planned for her to come and live with me when she turned 18. She turned 18 in December and moved straight in with me. I told her she should try to finish school since I didn't. There was no point for me, my grades sucked. I'm working to support us and she's got a part-time job now so she can help. We're going to make it work together. Our parents tried to report my sister missing and created a huge fuss over her leaving. When we found out, she corrected it, but that gave our parents more current info on us. They found out where we live, at least the neighborhood, and I see them when I walk to work. They told me I should be ashamed for moving my sister out like I did, and ask, what about the younger kids? Who's supposed to take care of them? I told them they had kids, so they should take care of them. They said I know they won't and that we've left the little ones with nobody. My mom's pregnant again and probably due any time now from the looks of it, so there are even more kids than before. I know my parents won't take care of any of them. I know that I should probably step up more, but I never felt close to the younger kids. I took care of them because I had to, because I was forced, but I never loved them or did it willingly. And I don't want to be responsible for them again. My sister feels the same and she told me she called CPS and reported it, but that's all she's willing to do. She said she's done with it, because she wants to focus on the two of us. Am I the a-hole for doing all this for her and not doing enough for them? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. So sorry for your lost childhood. Cherish your freedom and never ever feel guilty. Trying to. It's a lot of hard work but less depressing than before. You should try to at least try for a GED, so at some point you can hopefully go to trade school. Go get your GED. Life will be harder if you don't. I know, but I'm really not cut out for school, and I need to work to make this work for us. Otherwise, we're even more screwed. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to mend things with my oldest sister? My sister, 45 female, and I, 31 female, have had no contact for the last 10 years. Our kids have had no contact either. 10 years ago, I was freshly divorced with primary custody of my 2 kids. Making minimum wage and barely scraping by, my sister told me she should help pay for us to visit home and stay with her family in California during the summer. For months, I picked up side jobs and flipped furniture on top of working to pay for the 2-week trip. I saved just enough to cover flights, time off from work, and extra cash for activities. I was excited to see her. My parents were in and out of my life growing up. My younger siblings and I spent a lot of time being raised by our older sister, aunts, and cousins. Big Sis was always my rock. This would be the first time she would meet my kids. We had a good visit generally. My oldest son, 4 years old at a time, had undiagnosed autism and a bucket of trauma from living with DV during my marriage. He struggled to be away from me, had night terrors, and refused to listen to my sister. I realized he wasn't ready to meet new family members, but it was too late. We were there, and a hotel wasn't in the budget. While staying with her, I learned I had an interview for a dream job in San Francisco, about 2 hours from her by train. The job paid 5 times what I had been making, offered real benefits and PTO, etc. However, I needed to stay overnight in the city because the interview had 2 parts, the second part being early the next morning. I told Big Sis and she was thrilled for me. I asked her to babysit my kids and she agreed. I borrowed some of her old corporate clothes and headed to San Francisco. During day 1 interviews, she called and texted me repeatedly. Thinking there was an emergency, I asked to be excused from the interview to return her call. She told me my son was acting like a demon, calling her names and refusing to listen. I gave her tips to de-escalate the situation, but she didn't want them. She wanted me to leave San Francisco and come home. She refused to watch him any longer. I apologized to my interview panel, asked to reschedule over Zoom, and caught the next train back. When I arrived, my 4-year-old was locked in a bedroom. He was bruised from hitting his arms and head on the door while trying to escape. Others in the house said he had been in there for almost 6 hours, and my sister had locked him in. I confronted my sister, and she blamed me for not leaving the abusive relationship sooner and for not getting sole custody. Her husband joined the conversation, and they told me I needed to take my kids and fly home immediately. I had no money to change our tickets. I'd spent what I had left on train tickets and lunch in the city. I was 21, with 0 financial history, no credit cards, couldn't even rent a car. Our flight home was in 2 days. I begged them to let us stay a little longer, explaining I had no money for a room until our flight. They started packing our things before I could and helped pile them outside. My sister apologized and tried to hug me as we got into an Uber I couldn't afford and headed to Oakland Airport. My boys, 4 and 2 years old, spent the next 36 hours sitting outside baggage check at Oakland Airport, surrounded by unhoused individuals and addicts. Our airline managed to get us on a slightly earlier flight free of charge. We huddled by an outlet to keep their iPad charged and ate granola bars and Doritos from a vending machine. We had to move all our luggage together because someone had already tried to steal my diaper bag when I went to get water without it. It was a total nightmare for me and, more importantly, for my 4-year-old, who blamed himself for their reaction at our situation. He watched me get sexually propositioned, called names, and more, all while sitting with 2 very young kids in the cold at Oakland Airport. When we got home, I blocked her and her family and started trying to heal from this and a divorce. After many years estranged, my mother and I now have an okay relationship. She's moving in with my big sister and wants me to mend things so we can all visit together. Here's the thing. I ended up rescheduling the interview, which started what has turned out to be a lucrative career. As a single mom, I worked my way up the corporate ladder, and we live well. My mom says my sister wants me to help pay for expenses. Meanwhile, we have 3 other brothers, one of whom, 29 male, lives in my guest house while he finally receives mental health care. I've probably spent the most time estranged from my sister, and I'm a single parent living in one of the world's most expensive cities. We started having short visits with my mom these past few years, and they're going well. Mom is worried I won't visit her anymore after she moves in with Big Sis. I've suggested paying for my mom to visit us, or renting an Airbnb somewhere cool, but she's not interested. My mom wants me to rekindle things with Big Sis, but my feelings are these. 1, they probably need money and I have it. 2, I am still so angry at my sister. 3, I just bought a house and put my now 14-year-old son with autism into a private school for ASD kids with high intellect. Expensive. 4, even if I had extra cash to send their way, no. I've only just started mending things with my mom. Every time I think about how we got here, I become so angry that I cry. Both my parents left us kids so many times. I never thought my sister would do anything close to this to me and my kids. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to mend things? I've read about how family estrangement causes record-breaking rates of loneliness, mental and physical health issues, and poverty. But I also feel there's no benefit and a lot of risk to my family's well-being by bringing her back into our lives. I've worked so hard to give us a peaceful, normal life, and I'm not prepared to give it up. Your mom is mouth-piercing for your sister. They're after money, not family. Sister hears bro is living in guest house. Now mom is moving there. You have money. She's after it, as is mom. I don't know contact with both. She locked a 4-year-old in a room for 6 hours. Was he even allowed to use the bathroom? Your sister could have found a way to contact you to apologize for what she did. But now she hears you're doing well, she only wants expenses. No, I'd never forgive the sister. Screw her. And to be honest, screw your mom too. She's got some nerve making demands when you've offered options. You give an inch and look, they're immediately trying to take the mile. And then kicked them out, forcing them to spend 36 hours in the airport.